Hi, I'm Tom, and today we're at Pay360, joined by Scott from DECTA. Scott, how are you?
Doing very well, Tom. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. So, I think the best way to kick this off is just to give the audience a bit of an introduction into you, your position, and what DECTA are up to basically nowadays.
Hi, my name's Scott Dawson. I'm the head of sales and strategic partnerships with DECTA Limited. We are a payment service provider that provides bespoke and boutique services to banks, fintechs, merchants, and other PSPs. We have 3 e-money licenses in Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Cyprus. We're principal members of Visa, MasterCard, and China UnionPay, and we have our own technical processing center. Because we have our own technical processing center, what we can provide is very broad and very bespoke. We can do issuing, acquiring, processing. We have a white label gateway, a digital banking platform, a 3DS solution, and a fantastic partner program.
So obviously we're sort of surrounded right now with the hustle and bustle of Pay360 sort of going on all around us as we speak. And it's one of the biggest events of the start of 2024. But if we take a step back first and look at 2023, what can you share with us about how 2023 went for DECTA and what the year looked like basically?
I don't want to be overly self-congratulatory quite yet, but I'd say 2023 went remarkably well. I joined the business in 2022 to really help establish the brand and the presence within the United Kingdom, which has always been one of our home states, but an area that probably needed a little bit more love and attention from a staffing and personnel perspective. And so I've come in, the team is 3 times bigger, our merchant base is expanding on every given day, and I just generally say we've hit all of the goals that we had for 2023.
Great, and if we take a step forward now into what the outlook for 2024 is like, what are your priorities going into 2024, and what are you hoping for from the coming year?
I think what we're really working with at the moment is almost a 3-year plan, and that 3-year plan is sitting around growth. It's growing the brand, growing the team, growing our merchant base in low, mid, and high-risk verticals. Essentially, we want to become a brand that when I say DECTA, people say, of course, as opposed to who's that.
Can you share any exciting projects that you're currently working on that we might see in the near future?
Well, I think probably one of the most exciting announcements we have is Patrick Hayes, our CEO of the Irish business, announced yesterday, actually, that the Irish office is now authorized as an e-money institution via the Central Bank of Ireland. Now, what that means specifically is Patrick's news to share, so I won't say too much. But I think what it does show is a dedication that we want to have a well-regulated, well-run, and localized business. In addition to that, because we do have our own technical processing center, we have 150, maybe 200 developers that are constantly just developing and maintaining our product offering. We're constantly growing, changing things, adding new payment methods, new verticals, new geographies. It's really what's beautiful about DECTA.
Great, and like I said, we're here at Pay360. We're sort of deep into day 2 now, we're about halfway through day 2. What were you most looking forward to coming into the event, and what's really impressed you about the event so far?
What's impressed me is that it's worked. I'll be honest, I was a little cynical about Pay360 moving from Old Billing Market to the Excel Center. I love the Excel, it's a great venue, but it's also where some shows come to die. And so it was a bit of a bold move to make, but Pay360 and the Payments Association behind it have absolutely knocked the ball out the park. It's busier, it's better. There's a lot of really interesting developments in terms of not what they're offering, but how they offer it. Just little things like you can wear headsets when you're listening to speakers. You can actually hear what they're saying. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to get personal and I'm going to get very serious. To the person at the Payments Association who approved the prepaid food fob, thank you. To DigiSec, the wonderful people that have provided it, thank you and I love you. I think one of the biggest differences between a good show and a great show is being well fed. It keeps me happy. I don't get grumpy now. It's a wonderful place to be. In addition to a lot of what we're seeing here, I just think as per norm, the content is very strong. The attendees are very strong, both in terms of the exhibitors and the foot traffic. I just really think this has become and will continue to be one of the flagship events, not only in the UK, but in payments as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, the prepaid food fob is a great hit with everyone at the show. I know our team was hugely impressed by it.
I'm so happy.
It's a great thing. And like you also said, the content here obviously surrounded around the world of payments, the different developments that are happening in the payment space has been really impressive. We've had some great names speaking here. But looking more broadly at the payment space, what are you hoping to see from the payment sector going into the future?
I mean, it's a very broad question, and I suppose there's many ways I can address it. I think what I'm seeing right now are areas where I'd like to see development or continued development, sensible investment, in sensible solutions that actually contribute to the market, and sensible regulation to support the businesses both in the UK and the EU in terms of providing payment products. I always think consumer protection is the fundament to what that regulation should be focused on. I'd argue that inherently is what that regulation is focused on. And we're in this really interesting position where we have an asymmetry between what's happening in the UK and what's happening in the EU. And I'll be really interested to see how not just these businesses, but the industry as a whole navigates that potential asymmetry in the future.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you and very insightful. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tom.